Mwarî wa Maitû, let's talk about the simp and the pick-me-sha. Kwa editing hapo ndio nitaweka intro. Dun, 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 dun. So growing up, when someone farted in class, we'd sing a song for them. We'd sing, no sio wadhuria, nege tarariki, gikiuma mutito, kweja marima, magone kanyina, kariru we hue, thubera nawo. And if someone either fell or encountered misfortune or was punished and we were just being ops, we'd go, yes kidole sambusa, chips karanga mayai. And then if someone please the teacher, would sing a song for them. Well done, Janice. Try again another day, Janice. Keep up, ni wewe too. So this is an ancient method of affirming or correcting behavior by labeling and shaming, or labeling and praising. Labeling and shaming would give you a label, a song would accompany it, a title, an expectation, or reputation would accompany that label. And by that, you would either feel so condemned, it would act as punishment for your actions and as an experience that encourages you to do better the next time. Now, that same method continues till date in different forms, in different ways throughout the society, but I'm going to look at two ways in which it exists in our current society today. So that same practice continues today, and we label and shame, label and praise, and for the same purpose. But anyway, I'm going to look at two labels that exist in modern day society, and that is the simp and the pick-me-sha. Now, call me a fool, but for the longest time, I used to think men calling each other simps was just tongue-in-cheek, they're just jesting, until I realized that every time I came across a video of a man showing a public display of affection or doing something for the wife, someone would just comment simp, or just like I literally saw this comment under a man who chose to propose standing up, and someone commented, yeah, he's not a simp, he's being very masculine. I was like, wait, being called a simp is a bad thing? I thought it's just a statement of fact. Like there are people who are hopeless romantics, so maybe they'd be called simps as language continues to evolve. But I never thought it is a label that is meant to shame somebody. That being said, it now leaves me wondering, because these labels, they have simps for the men and they have pick-me-sha for the women. And I understand why they exist. I would say the history of that is because people feel a certain inherent allegiance to their gender. We shame men for having that all the time, seeing men trying to get the favor of other men, until you realize that it also exists with women. Because why do we have statements like being a girl's girl? And if you're not what is considered a girl's girl, then you are shamed for that, or that you are ostracized for the same, just because you didn't fit someone else's description of a woman who uplifts and supports other women, which basically is what girl's girl means. There's a male version of that, it just probably doesn't have a label. There's a girl code, there's a boy code, there's all this. And basically, these two genders have been segregated. Everyone goes to their own corner, and then they listen, they are pumped up. Women go to the sisterhood, men go to the manosphere. We will just have, that's a whole other conversation in itself. What is the manosphere and what is the sisterhood, and the toxicity and the benefits of these ideological extremes. Either way, the manosphere tells a man, you are the prize. The sisterhood tells a woman, you are the prize. The manosphere tells a man, do not simp. The sisterhood tells a woman, don't be a pick-me-sha. And then they come together and they're attempting to form the most intimate connection a human being can have with another human being, yet they both subscribe to completely polarizing ideologies. How do you think that is going? So the purpose of this video, to be honest, it's a problem statement, and I am hoping to awaken the inner romantic in you by reading you letters, old letters. I won't tell you where I find these letters, but they exist somewhere on a very dark, lovely corner of the internet. And I just want you to see how men and women used to write to each other back in the day, before people started shaming each other for kneeling to propose, and shaming each other because a woman says, I honor my husband. that cringes me out, because to be honest, I also subscribe to a lot of ideologies on the sisterhood. Honor your husband, but not all men. I have no problem with that. Submit to your husband, but not all men. Your submission is earned. Let me shut up, because I'm sabotaging my own video. But anyway, listen to these letters. This first one was written by Pliny the Younger to his wife Calpurnia around the late 1st or 2nd century AD. You say that you're feeling my absence very much, and your only comfort when I am not here is to hold my writings in your hand and often put them in my place by your side. I like to think that you miss me and find relief in this sort of consolation. I too am always reading your letters and returning to them again and again as if they were new to me. But this only fans the fire of my longing for you. If your letters are so dear to me, you can imagine how I delight in your company. Do write as often as you can, although you give me pleasure mingled with pain. That is a man writing to his wife, by the way. The bar right now is in hell. Your boyfriend just texts you, you up, WYD, and you know he doesn't say what you're doing. He cannot say what you're doing, but he can write WYD. He does not, let me shut up. Ludwig van Beethoven. We know Beethoven as the composer, the legendary musical composer, and not much is known about his love life, except this letter that was addressed to a woman who we do not know. Unfortunately, we can never put a face to the name. But from what is written here, you can only sense how great their relationship was. My angel, my all, my very self. Only a few words today, and at that with your pencil. Not till tomorrow will my lodgings be definitely determined upon. What a useless waste of time. Why this deep sorrow where necessity speaks? Can our love endure except through sacrifices? Except through not demanding everything? Can you change it that you are not wholly mine and I not wholly thine? Oh God, look out into the beauties of nature and comfort yourself with that which must be. Love demands everything, and that very justly. That it is with me so far as you are concerned, and you with me. If we were wholly united, you would feel the pain of it as little as I. Now, a quick change into things internal from things external. We shall surely see each other. Moreover, I cannot communicate to you the observations that I have made during the last few days, touching my own life. If our hearts were always close together, I would make none of the kind. My heart is full of many things to say to you. There are moments when I feel that speech is nothing after all. Cheer up. Remain my true, only treasure, my all as I am yours. The gods must send us the rest, which shall be best for us. Yours faithful, Ludwig. Oh my God. Hi guys. How are you? You're having fun? You've already ridden? Oh, nice. I'm yet to ride today. I started with shooting, then I'm going to ride Badai. So, Wanyana, how will we ever get to this if we are both on our own little corners, being put against each other and being gassed up in very polarizing ideologies that make us literally repel each other? I don't know what the solution is, but I will say that is why I have a lot of love and respect for musicians, just purely from their art. I don't know them as individuals. And it's because they have kept this culture alive through song lyrics. So we don't have such letters being passed around anymore. If some of your WhatsApp messages were leaked, you guys would unalive yourselves because of the shame, because you might have the capacity or the strength to bear your heart out, but not in such beautiful, poetic articulation. And there are very few people who do not regret wearing their hearts on their sleeves. With that being said, I'm going to read you a few lyrics that show you that musicians are the ones that are actually now holding this culture together. It's knowing that this cannot go on forever. Likely one of us will have to spend some days alone. Maybe we'll get 40 years together, but one day I'll be gone, or one day you'll be gone. Another musician sings, if I ever get to see the Northern Lights, or if I ever get to see the Eiffel Tower at night, oh, if all I got is your hand in my hand, baby, I could die a happy man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another musician sings, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Conclusion, there is none. This was purely a problem statement. And yeah, just a reminder, it's a mirror so that you can actually reflect on matters arising. Of course, it does not hold the same importance as political matters and the very many other issues that are wrong with our society today. Economic. Okay, now all the problems are coming to my head. We'll address them on a separate video. The purpose of this video was to call your attention to this. And before we leave, I'm going to leave you with a modern day version of these love letters. And this is more recent. This was actually written from a woman to a man, so that you don't say that my Nini is very polarized.
I'm going to say now that I don't get a speech later, so we have a few more pages. I hope you're comfortable. To Ami, my favourite person in the whole wide world. The morning of our first date, I messaged my group chat. I'm going on a date tonight. I'm scared, I said. Based on his WhatsApp chat, this could be a real risk. You'd yet to use an emoji, and all your messages ended in full stops. We had a lovely first date, confirmed to the group chat again, with the poetic confession of, and yes, I looked back all this time, yeah, he was so hot, and I love that he lives in New York, so I can't fall in love with him. Just the fairy tale beginning I'd imagined. You went back to New York the next day, so of course our next date came around a month and a half later. You were gorgeous, polite, kind. You passed my test of asking you to help me on a made-up dilemma with flying colours. And so naturally, I dismissed you as too good to be true. A little too cool and a little too smooth. I can't believe, knowing what I know now, that I almost dismissed you as too cool. That I saw you as someone who wouldn't want to grow old being silly together. That all changed, of course, and I'm so glad it did. On the second date, chatting late into the night, you asked whether I'd read Les Miserables. No one's read Les Miserables, I responded. I have, you said immediately. It took me 8 months. And it soon became apparent that this was only the tip of the iceberg. It's not every single day that you meet a gorgeous, kind, successful man who is obsessed with your favourite musical. And it's definitely not every day you find out he loved the musical so much that he's been to every single special edition anniversary concert and named his dog after the author. It quickly became apparent that I was so wrong about you. You were not cool at all. Naturally, you took me to Les Miserables 2 days later, the Book of Mormon a few days after that, and I fell in love. I tried to guard my heart. You were a man who lived on the other side of the Atlantic, and with a face like that, on top of everything. But you made guarding it so difficult, because everything was so easy. In fact, you've never given me a reason to believe that my heart isn't in the safest of hands. Sometimes I feel like my heart feels safer in your hands than in my body. That's how natural this feels. You helped me move into my new apartment on your day off a few days later, set up my furniture, bought me a full weekly essentials shop while seeing the movers out, and sent flowers the next morning. My heart must have known it belonged to you, because by the time I was working in New York a month later, I knew I was in deep trouble. I tried to play it cool, and I think you did too. There's a theme here. And the universe showed us what it thought of that plan. We joke about it, and I love so much that we can joke about anything and everything. It's one of my favourite things about us. But when you got sepsis on that trip, and as I sat next to you in the hospital for days, not knowing who to contact, I realised that this, whatever we were in the beautiful, delicate, early stages of, this was it. And I didn't know who to tell because I thought I'd sound crazy, but I couldn't help believing that I'd found my person. And I was so scared. I was so scared that I'd only have gotten a few magical moments with you, that I'd only been shown a drop in the ocean of what true, pure, healthy love feels like, and that we wouldn't be able to live the life we could have had. And even through that trauma and terrible news, you were so kind, so polite to the doctors, so gentle with me, and so ready to be vulnerable and scared with a girl that you'd only just met. And we were such a good team. We've always been such a good team. We always will be such a good team. That much, I promise. I thank my lucky stars every single day that two people who've always wanted to be loved as deeply as they love were given more than those 3 months, because I don't think even forever would be long enough for me and you. I vividly remember, just before I met you, I'd cried on a plane at the thought of being past the life stage where sisters and friends get to live together and coexist in giggles and shared hangovers and being silly. And now I know And I know that not everyone will know it because your brand is so cool, calm and collected, but you are in fact the king of silly. And because of that, because of exactly the person you are, I realised when writing these vows that I will never have to be past that stage of my life. You love me, every weird part of me, so fiercely, and so for me. My nose is running so much. That's not even the thing that's meant to run. Okay, thank you. You make sure I never have to suppress a single part of myself, which means I do get to be with my best friend forever. I'll never have to give away that stage of my life with you. I'll never have to live a life where I don't giggle all evening, a life without dance battles before bed or snuggling up or for hangover catch-ups and morning TV. And how lucky I feel to be able to say that and to live with that reality with a man who gives me the world. I promise that I will laugh with you, grow with you, do stupid things with you. I promise we will stay silly forever. I once asked you how you learnt to love like you do, how you learnt to be so thoughtful and kind and romantic when it isn't the norm. I remember you saying that you realised, don't hate me, from the occasional rom-com, that great love is built. It's built from gestures of love and kindness and thoughtfulness, and you realised that it doesn't just happen, and you realised that was a love that you wanted. And how lucky I am to be the woman that receives that love, to be the woman who you have given the first and last piece of every single food we've ever eaten together, to be the woman who goes from having to think about every single detail at work to never having to carry her own passport or suitcase or think about keeping her own heart safe. I promise that every single day I will show you too how much you are loved and how much you deserve to be looked after. The way you love me is exactly how I've always longed to be loved. It makes me feel like you were put on this earth to love me, and also that I was put on this earth to love you, because no other explanation makes sense when you get to feel how I feel coming home from work on a regular Tuesday evening. I promise I will do everything in my power to keep that love alive. And just like you built this love, you have built yourself into exactly the man you want to be. You have exactly the life you want to live. Who you are and the life you've wanted were never handed to you. A lot of the things you wanted for your life you've never even seen, but you made it your mission to work out exactly what your future could look like and to make that happen. And for that, I have the utmost respect and admiration. I feel so lucky every day to be the woman who gets to fit into your story. I promise I will work every day to make this life your dream life, just as you work to make this mine. And as someone who's worked so hard for his own dream life, anyone would be forgiven for thinking that that would be your concentration. That in order to get to where you are, you'd need to focus on yourself alone. But they'd be so, so wrong. You are so fiercely supportive. I could jump over a puddle and you'd applaud like I'd just saved the world. You're always there for everything. You're running 10 kilometers to see a billboard of my face before work. You're taking your friends to my store. You're waking up at the crack of dawn to get your hands on any interview with my name on it and are parading it round. And you're always there for the small things too, every single time. You've developed your own methods to get me out of a stress spiral, and you've never stopped working to know me better, to understand my brain and its quirks and its complications. You've studied me like I'm a new language you want to become fluent in, and boy does that make me know I am loved. I am fiercely independent, but I am that way because I thought I needed to be. But with you, you make it feel so safe to depend. And with this, even though I love who we are and I love what we have, it's more than enough for me. But if we're ever lucky enough to have children, which I know we both want more than anything, I tear up just thinking about the love that they will grow up knowing, the support they'll never need to ask for. It's one of our children. If you wake up at 4 a.m. to check I, a grown adult, have made my connecting flight on the other side of the world, I dread to think the lengths you will reach for our babies. They will be so incredibly lucky. We will be so incredibly lucky. We know exactly the future we want to have. Don't worry, it finishes soon. The family we want to build, whatever it looks like, we know its values above all. And I know, like you have for everything else, how you will work to make that come true. Because that's what you do. You see things you don't like about yourself, about your situation, and you change them for yourself and for me and for us. You stick to your word and you don't think twice about swallowing your pride and doing the work. Sometimes you think twice, but you always do the work. And because of that, We can have everything we ever imagined, and how fortunate I am to be able to save that. Ami, my vow to you is made of exactly the love you have given me, and the love we have built together since you first declared your love for a silly little musical about the French Revolution. I promise to always be silly, to spend however long we are given together being my full self. And I promise to be the best teammate and to always fight problems on the same team, never opposing ones, unless we're playing Articulate, in which case I will win. I promise to help build the life of our dreams together, to constantly talk about what that looks like and to work to make that happen. I promise to learn you fluently, just as you have learnt me, so that I will know what you need before you even do yourself. And most of all, I promise to love you every day like time is running out. I really wish it wasn't, but knowing how I felt after only a fraction of time we've spent together now, I never want to waste a moment with you, and I promise I never will.